This lesson is going to be an introduction to ecosystems. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be studying about ecology, which is the study of ecosystems, and that is sort of looking at the environment. Earlier in the year, we talked about levels of biological organization. We talked about how the smallest sort of particles that we know of are atoms and molecules. The smallest unit of organization for life is cells. And then throughout the course of the year, we've studied a lot of these things. We're focusing now on specifically ecosystems, and we'll also look at communities. And so now we're looking at sort of the big picture. Instead of looking at cells and organs and things like that, we're looking at kind of the whole earth or large regions of the earth. So here's a definition of ecology. Ecology is the study of the interactions of living organisms with each other and then with their physical environment. So we'll be looking also at the physical environment while we're looking at these interactions between individual organisms and populations. Not to confuse environment with habitat or something like that, I wanted to define habitat. A habitat is the natural home of an organism, or sometimes a population of organisms. So this is where they naturally inhabit. It might be something like this. This is the Arctic tundra. This would be, maybe this particular place would be a habitat of some kind of animal. You might think of the animal or the plant that might have this as its habitat, that could live in this kind of habitat. It wouldn't be, for instance, a frog or a monkey. Let's define what a community is. A community is all the different species of organisms that live in an area. It's all of the populations. They live with each other, they interact with each other. So, for instance, this coral reef would have all these variety of corals, some sea anemone, you've got some fish that live there, and they all interact with one another and live in the environment together. All of the living things that interact in the community are called biotic factors. Biotic referring to bio, meaning life, and so these are the living things that interact in an ecosystem. Now, the biggest picture is when we look at an ecosystem itself. This is all the living things that interact with one another in the environment, but also you consider in an ecosystem all the non-living parts. For instance, this is the available sunlight, the oxygen, the components of the soil. Is it sandy soil? Is it richer soil? And then the availability of water, the amount of rainfall that happens. All of these things that are non-living that interact in the environment or that affect living things in the environment, we call abiotic factors. A means not living. These are the non-living parts of the ecosystem.